Hi, everybody. I know I'm just a few minutes early, but I decided to come in early and just hang out and see who shows up. So it's good to see you all. Happy Easter. Like I found that thumbnail online and said, "Oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to put that on there just because of all the colors." I know I'm a little early and I know nobody's here yet, but hopefully someone will show up pretty soon. And I'm hoping we have a better chance with our sound this time than we did last week. I got to apologize for that. I don't know what happened, but it was really awful. I'm hoping we have better luck this coming today. So, don't really have anything specific to discuss. I just thought I would see how things are going with you all. I've had a pretty good week. Um, Mom and Dad did well. Finances are all doing as well as can be expected. Um, we Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Hi, Christy. It's good to see you too. I was just saying that we've had a good week on this end. Um, Dad and Mom did fine. Hello, Iris. Happy Easter to you as well. Um, we got everybody to doctor's appointments on time this week, which is always a struggle. Hello, Ruth. Happy Easter to you as well. Eli, hi. Welcome. Good to see you. Yay, I'm glad you're here. Um, Anyway, this past week, Mom and Dad did very well at getting to appointments on time. We didn't have any arguments about who was going to drive, which is always nice. And did pretty good. How was y'all's week? I was out looking at my peach trees yesterday, and I've got dozens of little, about 1 inch long peaches coming up. Good, mostly good week. That's good. Oh. Well, good. I'm glad you got him on antibiotics already, Joe. That's good. Hopefully that'll stop whatever's trying to start. Anyhow, I've got oodles and oodles of peaches on my peach tree. I'm so excited about that. This is the second year it's borne fruit. It's about a 5-year-old tree. Both of the trees started from peach seeds, so I'm doing pretty well to be started off that early. Normally it takes 8 to 10 years for a tree to start blooming if you started off from seed. Yeah, Christy, getting others to appointments is very difficult. Oh, good, Iris. I'm glad the storms weren't as bad there. I've been praying all week for everyone in that area. You're right, Eli. The tomb was empty and it was wonderful. It is still wonderful. Not was, but is wonderful that his tomb is empty and our Lord is in heaven preparing a place for us. Oh, I was telling you about my peaches. It looks like we're going to really have a good harvest this year. My mulberry trees are covered with little tiny mulberries. They're less than a little less than a quarter of an inch long. They are just the red mulberry particularly has a lot of them. The white one doesn't bear as many, and they're not as sweet. It's a very different kind of thing. But the red is just covered, and the pear trees both were just covered with blossoms last week. So I'm hoping we'll have a good pear harvest this year too. Hoping to get the ducks up here so I can get my elderberries planted pretty quickly. See how that goes. I've got 4 beautiful tomato plants just about ready to go in the ground. Hi, Jay. Good to see you. So anyhow, it looks like my little bit of gardening that I'm doing this year might turn out to be well. I've got wild sunflowers growing in my front yard. They're about up to here on me now, so I'm sure we're going to have some really pretty small sunflower seeds. These don't make the big ones like that. They make little bitty ones, but they're pretty. They just don't make seeds, and the birds would have loved the seeds. Oh well. You know how that goes. You can't do it. Can't please everybody. So at least we'll have some pretty flowers for a little while. My strawberries, I have 2 strawberry plants. They both grow in the same planter, and they're doing well again. Let's see. Joe says you aren't doing much there. You ordered a set of $10 novelty rifle sights. So you have some on your second rifle. And since shipping costs as much as those we ordered, my dad came to. Good. That's good. Father's Day, he wanted a new cane. He's just like 20 years old. You know, Joe, I went to a estate sale this past week, and I got a new cane for myself. It doesn't look like much of anything, but it is basically as someone many years ago found a branch on a tree that was bent just right and cut it off. And through the years, it's gotten smoother and easier to hold on to. And now I just have to put some kind of a foot on it, and it just looks like an old worn out stick, but it works real well for a cane. Yes, Ruth, the bees are doing beautifully. They really are. Oh, cool. I have a couple of walking sticks that David and I bought at the San Antonio Zoo when we traveled there. Michigan Daffodil, hello, hello. I'm glad to see you're here, even if it's just for a minute or two. Thank you for dropping in. Um, the San Antonio Zoo sells walking sticks, and these were the real tall ones. Mine is about, it's not quite as tall as I am, and I'm 5'3", so it's probably about 5 feet tall. And it has a cardinal head carved onto the top. And we got one for David that's about the same height, but it has a parrot carved on the top. So we both had our walking sticks for when we would go to the zoo. That was one of David's favorite things to do in the whole world. He absolutely adored the zoo. And when we lived in Nebraska, we would have lunch at the zoo 2 to 3 times a week. They had a real nice deal there where they had picnic tables set up, and you could bring your lunch and eat at the zoo. And we would buy a yearly membership to the zoo, and then we'd go and have lunch there. Like I said, a couple of times a week anyway. Michigan Daffodil, happy Resurrection Day to you as well. So we didn't get to that as often here, but by the time we got back to the San Antonio area, walking was a major difficulty for David, so we didn't get to do that as much here. And by the time we got the power chair, he just really wasn't up to doing a lot of that. Prepped for Eternity Homestead. Welcome, welcome. Happy Resurrection Day to you too. I'm glad to see you here. My sister, the only remaining sister I have, is in town today for Easter. And she has taken my mom and dad out to Easter lunch. And then she's going to be over here sometime this afternoon. And she'll spend the evening and night here. And then tomorrow we're going to take her and get her car registered. I gave her the car over a year ago, and she's not been able to get it registered because she lost her driver's license. And they wanted a copy of her birth certificate to get it replaced, and she's been all this time trying to get that. So now she's got everything, and tomorrow we're going to go and register the car and get it legally hers. Iris says, my son and family buy yearly passes to the Memphis Zoo. Yeah, I've always, for years and years, I've had a yearly pass to the San Antonio area zoo. It's a really huge zoo, and I love to go. Of course, most of the time when I go there, if I go alone, I spend the whole time I'm there in the budgie cage. They have a free flight cage that's, I had no idea how big it is really. It's a huge cage. You have like 30 or 40 people walking in it, and it's all landscaped and beautiful. And the little budgies just fly around in there, and they're not afraid of people. So they'll come and land on your shoulder and talk to you and stuff. Hello, Celtic Bear. It's good to see you. So anyway, I go to the budgie cage, and I'll talk to all the birds and love on them, and people come and ask me questions about the budgies. Sometimes I can actually answer them, which is kind of neat. But then I try and get by the area where they have only a couple of large birds. One is the blue and gold, like two of my boys, and the other one I'm not sure. I heard it, but I have not seen it. I think it's an owl. But anyway, I try and get over to see the big macaw as well, and of course I go and visit all the ducks and other waterfowl and throw food to them. So I like going to see the waterfall. Hello, Flory Firefly Farms. Happy Easter to you too. Welcome, welcome. I'm very glad to see you. We need everybody to remember, put your thumbs up. We need thumbs up to get votes here. So please do that. There we go. Yes, Lori, we were talking earlier about mine. All my trees are in flowers too. It looks like I'm going to have a very nice fruit harvest this year. At least I hope so. And oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I have a Meyer lemon tree potted in a tub, and it's only 1 year old, and already I've got 6 or 7 blossoms on that. So I'm really excited to have that coming up. It was grown from a seed from my mom's Meyer lemon. She got one from my sister many years ago as a birthday present, and it got almost 20 feet tall. And then the freeze came along, and a really bad one several years ago, and it just died right back to the ground. And now it has grown back up again. Let's see, you found out you had a bread maker when you were going through supplies yesterday. Oh, how fun! Well, excellent, Joe. I hope you enjoy using that bread maker. I have one in the storage room that's getting ready to go to the thrift store. I don't enjoy making bread in the bread machine. I get very frustrated because I can make it a fluffier bread by doing it by hand, and I don't like the hole that the big stirring, they have that little propeller thing in the bottom that stirs it, and it always leaves a big hole in the bottom of the loaf. So I hope you like yours. I know a lot of people that just won't make bread other than that way, and I'm glad, but it's not for me. How did yours turn out? I know I love to make bread. David, just before he passed away, got me a bread pan slash maker that's silicon, and you fold it up. You put the stuff inside, and you fold it up and bake it that way, and it comes out one of those sort of roundish looking loaves. And I'm going to try that pretty soon. We'll tell her we said hi to her too. Christy, the only thing I've ever found was a problem with making bread was the kneading time, because my hands don't do too well. But if you make those artisan breads, you don't have to knead them. So that's what I've been doing, and it makes really good bread too. Laura, you got a dehydrator for $6.99. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Very good, Celtic. I'm glad you like it. That's very good. I have eggs in my dehydrator today. I have I had got some really big egg trays. They hold 4 dozen in each tray, and I had 1.5 full, and I decided I needed to do something with some of those eggs. They were just getting to be too many, so I put 2 dozen in the dehydrator. You put it in the blender, and you whip it real good so it's got a lot of air in it, and then you put it into the dehydrator and dehydrate it, and it turns out beautifully, and you can get a lot of eggs in a small space. And since I only use them for baking anyway, it doesn't interfere with the texture of the baked good. So I love doing mine that way. I really enjoy having a way to store eggs. I did not have good luck with the water glassing. I had 2 different large half-gallon bottles full of eggs. One was chicken eggs and one was duck eggs. And I tried the water glassing with the lime, and it was not a good experience at all. Just turned out very bad. Neither of them lasted more than 8 months, and they said you're supposed to last after a year. So that was not good for me. And they took up an awful lot of room, and it's just a whole lot easier to dehydrate them. So, like I said, since I only use them for baking and cooking, the texture is not a problem. Well, what else is going on with you guys? Christy, I use 2 tablespoons of egg powder and 2 tablespoons of dechlorinated water to equal 1 egg. And you're going to try and make scrambled eggs, which I don't suggest, but if you're going to try it, you need to mix it, let it sit for about 5 minutes and mix it again real good because the powder doesn't tend to reabsorb water very quickly. It takes a while. You've been liquid eggs in a box. I've tried those. Normally buying like August and stuff back for the shelf life rice and soups. Oh, very good. I made some pinto beans a couple of days ago and had some ham left over, and I had chopped it into 2 by 2 pieces approximately and put that in there, and the beans are out of this world. I am really enjoying them. But I'm a legume person. I enjoy particularly pinto beans and black beans. Those are my 2 favorites. I'm not real good with lima beans at all, and I don't care for what. Most of the dried beans I really enjoy. The humidity here is very low, and because of that, my mouth is so dry. I feel like I'm going to blow up from all the water I've been drinking today. But anyway, back to beans. I probably got pretty close to 40 pounds of dried pinto beans and maybe a little over 20 to 25 pounds of the black beans. So I'm pretty set up. And I even have some garbanzo beans. What is this? You made ham and pea soup? I know you like that, Celtic. You said that, mentioned that several times. I take my split peas when I get them and give them to my birds. Parrots love split peas, and I don't care for pea soup at all. So makes them happy and makes me happy. Made ham broth. Very good, Michigan. I took my ham broth that I made when I made the ham and put it in the beans I made yesterday, and boy, was that a rich, delicious batch of beans. I have really enjoyed it. I put a whole pound of beans and about 2 quarts of water, and then chopped up an onion and threw some garlic cloves in there and just cooked them to death. It was wonderful. You never bought the survival foods, just put it in myself. Christy, I don't usually buy the survival foods either, but I have been thinking Augustin Farms has things like honey powder and buttered powder and a few things like that that I can't make myself. And I've been thinking about maybe getting a small bit of it each time. So I don't know. Miss Jordan, hello and welcome. You're new to my channel, I think. I don't recall your name. If you're not, I'm sorry, but I don't recall your name. Back here behind us on the map are pins from the various people that come to our live stream. Get along well, or who doesn't? That's right, Celtic. Neither of us do. Anyway, if you would like to start coming, being a regular, we'd like to put your name, put a pin up there for you. I have all of the basic colors, red, green, blue, yellow, and white. And if you give me the name of a city that's close to you, we'll put one up there for you. It would be sad for you to live without butter and sour cream. Christy, I feel the same way. I have butter that I have canned or bottled. I'm going to do some ghee next because if I don't have butter, I can always use ghee. But I've got, I had a dozen pint jars of butter on my shelves, and I've used 3 of them so far. And they last very well. At least they've always lasted well for me. And it's not really hard to do. It just takes patience. So you're from Rhode Island. Well, welcome, welcome, Thomas. I'm glad you came. Let me write you down, and I'll get a pin and stick it in Rhode Island. And what color would you like, Thomas? And then when you come back next week, your pin will be on the map. Part of the country is got a lot of pins over there. Celtic, I have not tried either the butter or the sour cream powders. I've thought many times about trying them. And I've been watching some videos online about making your own sour cream. So I may be doing that as well. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you very much for welcoming Thomas as well. Green. Wonderful. You will be up there next week. I like for people to be represented so they can look up there in their part of the country and see their color. Right now, it's a little hard to do. Um, I'm my husband. I lost my husband last November. Pardon me. I have large birds that make a lot of noise. I lost my husband last November, and I'm trying to rearrange the house the way I like it. And that used to be behind the table where we shot all of our live streams, but we moved that around. So hopefully soon I'll get it figured out where I want things and get somebody with muscles over to help me move stuff around. It takes a while. The boys have been very noisy. I have three macaws. I have two blue and golds, which are the typical pirate's bird that you see on the shoulder with the gold or the yellow chest and the blue head and the big beak and all. And then I have one that's called a Maui sunrise, and he's got just about every color in the world. And I am babysitting a, all right, quiet down, boys. I am babysitting a sulfur-crested cockatoo, a little one, and her name is Miss Lola. She has such a personality, and she makes more noise than than the big birds sometimes. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. They are good guys. I really, really love having them. They're a blessing in my life. I just saw that bag of stuff from mom and dad's. Dad has now got me balancing his checkbook. I had to bring the last 5 or 6 months worth to go in there and figure out where it is because he couldn't remember the last time he'd done it. So I started 6 months back and I'm working forward. We'll get it all caught up. We found, let's see, Easter dinner in the oven. Oh, very good, Celtic. Very good. My Easter dinner was a bowl of ham and beans, but I ate mine alone. And that's okay. I could have gone to with my sister and parents, but I've been driving over there almost every day for the last 3 weeks, and it's very expensive gasoline wise. So since my sister was going to be there with them, I decided to let her have some time alone. Well, thank you, Michigan. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I feel like that's what the Lord put me here on earth for, is to take care of and work for others. And it's always such a blessing when I'm able to do something for someone else and it turns out. It makes me feel good and it makes them feel good too. Yeah, me too, Christy. The only thing I'm doing is going to mom and dad's, and doing the things they need to do. When I take mama grocery shopping, I do my shopping at the same time. And when we have to go and do other things, like mom had a uh, appointment last week with a podiatrist, and she had some surgery in the bottom of her feet many years ago. And they went from the bottom of the foot up to do the surgery. And because of that, when it healed over, there's a long ridge of scar tissue on the bottom of her foot, and it makes it very difficult for her to walk. Very, very painful. She says it feels like she's walking on the sharp edge of a razor blade, and it goes the entire width of the ball of her foot. So we took her over to the podiatrist, and he was able to trim back a whole lot of that scar tissue, and she was a lot more comfortable walking. So while we were out anyway, I took her over to um, a place here in the area called FAS Shoes or San Antonio Shoes and got her a new pair of shoes. And she absolutely loves them. She's able to walk almost normally with them. They had that part of her foot that is so sore. And she's doing really, really well with them. She's not even carrying her cane as much as she did. The scary thing. Oh, Joe, I'm so glad it's doing better. That is wonderful news. That is really good. Joe's dad, for those of you who don't know, Joe's dad has been really struggling, and glad to hear that it's getting better. Iris, they had five in this area, and they're down to two. So I understand that they're closing. It seems like everything's closing now that the pandemic has started, made such a problem with people wanting to work. It's been a real problem. Yeah, Christy, I know an awful lot of people who do have foot surgery issues and walking. Shoes just are not made, most cases are not made to make it comfortable. Doctor said you saved his leg, and the week before you saved him from the hospital, and 2 weeks ago you saved his arm. Joe, I think someone's trying to tell you that it's a good thing you're there with your parents. You really do. You have kept your dad safe and alive an awful lot lately and for a while. I mean, you've been doing this since you were what, 14, didn't you say you started taking care of them? So I know they're blessed to have you, and I know you feel you're blessed to have them in your life still. Wonderful. And I want you to know that you and your parents are still on the top of my prayer list. We'll be continuing to pray for you. Yes, I knew you were 33 now. You only wear New Balance walking shoes even at church. They're really okay. That's the kind of shoe that the doctor told us to get for David when it turned out that his right foot, his right leg was shorter than his left leg because of the um, hip replacement. They told us to go to New Balance and get the New Balance shoes that they could put a lift into. That would be the best thing for him. Um, Unfortunately, the New Balance shoe stores near us don't do the lifts. I don't know why, but they don't. But I was able to find some shoes for him that we were able to get lifts for, and they were really wonderful. And he loved them. He wore them all the time. And while he was still able to walk, they made walking much easier. Then he got his power chair and knee replaced, and then he quit walking because everything else started going downhill. Turns out that having that hip replacement really, really caused a lot of problems with the rest of his body. Threw his back all out, and his hips were misaligned, and yada, 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 all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it was amazing. But with our Lord now, and he can walk with no problems at all. So he can walk and run and dance and sing, and he's much better off. While I miss him, I'm really glad that he is where he is. Michigan, my youngest daughter is 30, will be 30. She just turned 35. So, muscle cramps from hip surgery. Well, that doesn't sound good either, Christy. Did they tell her why? Was it because they had to stretch the muscles when they were putting the new hip in? I know they told David that he might have problems with that. And it turned out he didn't have those problems, but he had all kinds of others. I'm having a lot of muscle cramps at night. I woke up this morning with a huge Charlie horse in my leg. It was awful. Hello, Lisa Hopper. It's wonderful to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Celtic. He is definitely missed. There's no question about it. He's a wonderful influence in my life for a lot of years, and I was really blessed to be able to know him and then to be able to marry him and live 10 years with him. The best thing that happened in my life. Celtic, I do eat bananas, and I take potassium supplements. My uh, kidney doctor is watching my potassium levels, even though I eat a lot of things with potassium, not just bananas, but also avocados and several other things, lots of tomatoes, which also are high in potassium. My potassium levels are really low, and we're trying all kinds of things to get it up so that I don't have so many. Enough water, yeah. Iris, I do have that problem as well. That's why I carry this thing around with me all the time. It's always got water. It's got water up to here, and then ice up to there. So I drink lots of water. I probably drink pretty close to a gallon and a half of water a day. And then I also drink coffee and tea, and I don't drink sodas. Let's see. I don't know why she relaxes. I know they older happen. I don't understand what that law is supposed to do, supposed to accomplish, because people that are elderly, the muscle relaxers really make a huge difference for us. We don't have a lot of ability, most of us, to get the muscles to relax without them. Rotating all day yesterday and it wore you out. A lot more food than you thought you did. You can eat. Good for you. Quinine water. Now that's something I've not heard before, Celtic. I'm not sure I would be able to stand it. I've tried quinine water for something else, although I don't remember what it was. I was a much younger woman when I tried it. And I remember it tasted really horrible. And every time I tried it, I threw up everything I swallowed down. So I didn't keep drinking that very much. Oh, how fun, Lori. That's great. Your dad's 80th birthday. That is so wonderful. You've been on one meal a day since last year, most days. A lot of money. Yeah, Joe, it does save a lot of money. And it also saves a lot of calories going in that most people don't really need. Doctor was mad about it. Felt like the government was telling me. Well, I have several doctors here in our area that feel that the government is trying to get too much into how to treat the patients. Got a lot of doctors that really get upset about that. Gin and tonic, Celtic gin and tonic doesn't help me because I can't drink alcohol because I only have one kidney. Have I tried magnesium for the Charlie horses? No, Ruth, I have not heard of magnesium for the Charlie horses. That that's something I've never heard before. What is it supposed to do? 320 Homestead. Hello, welcome. How are you today? Happy Easter. I imagine it is Michigan. One meal a day is what I would like to do, but since I had my gastric bypass, I have to eat several times a day. It's more like not eating, more like grazing. Um, I don't have a full sized stomach. I have a small pouch. And yellow mustard? You mean eating it, Christy, or smearing it on the muscle? I don't know. I've not studied magnesium. I've been so busy worrying with the potassium that I just don't know. Anyway, um, when I go out to eat, most restaurant meals are huge for me, and I eat about between a quarter and a third of the meal while I'm there, and I bring the rest home and get at least two more meals out of it from home. A lot of people fuss that restaurant food is spendy, but for me, whatever I pay, I'm getting three meals at least out of it. Yes, I know you can. I was trying to use it for getting some sleep. Oh, okay. I wondered what you were doing with it. I eat an awful lot of yellow mustard. I love yellow mustard. And my normal lunch is a piece of meat wrapped in cheese heat it up until the cheese gets kind of soft, and then yellow mustard smeared all over it. So, huh? Well, I'll have to get some magnesium and try that, Ruth. Thank you. I I tell you what. Several weeks ago, my doctor put me on a anti-anxiety medication. Epsom salt foot soap or bath. Wonderful. 320 Homestead, what do you use them for? I use them when my feet go into cramping. Mixing some bowl-sized portion of chili and rice, running out and off on. Oh, okay. Um, anyway, when my mom and dad started going down, several, it's been over a month ago now, but they started having some real issues with their health, particularly dad with his dementia. I started getting a lot of stress and I was having trouble dealing with it. So my doctor put me on an anti-anxiety medication. I take a very light dose and I only take it once a day, but it has made enough of a difference that I have gone from sleeping 2 to 2.5 hours a night to sleeping between 6 and 7 hours a night. So I am getting much more sleep than I have gotten since I was an adult. Normally, I get about 4 hours of sleep, and then with my folks, I was getting a lot less. And now, I'm getting between 6 and 7 hours a night, and it's wonderful. Yeah, I have Celtic. I have done that. I've ordered an appetizer instead of a meal, and believe it or not, I get 2 meals out of most appetizers in restaurants. Find that the restaurants in South Texas, the serving portions are really, really big. Christy, that's what I was doing. I was, normally for me, from the time my oldest daughter was born, she's 45, I would get about 4 hours of sleep a night. And I just kept that up almost all of my adult life. And then at the end of last year, uh, dad and mom started going downhill, and then dad's um, dementia got worse, and he kept insisting on driving and doing things that he shouldn't. And the stress just got to the point where I was having real problems with sleep and a lot of other things. So um, my doctor put me on this anti-anxiety medication, and it made a huge, huge difference for me. I know a lot of people don't like to go on big pharma medication, and generally I don't. But this one has made enough of a difference, and I was getting pretty desperate because 2 hours of sleep a night is just not enough. Happy Easter, you too, Celtic. I'm glad you dropped in for a little bit. It was nice to see you. What does it do to what does magnesium do to you, Michigan? I have no idea. Yeah, I went through a time like that before I went on this anti-anxiety medication, but I was just not getting any sleep to speak of at all. It was really a bad situation. I'm so glad that we found it because I am getting the rest I needed, and because I'm getting the rest I needed, I'm having more patience with my parents. I have the energy to do the things around here that I need to do before I can jump up and go to their house. So, ah, okay. Is it just diarrhea? That's the only bad thing it causes? I learned so much from you guys when we get in here and start talking about supplementing and things to take and not take. It amazes me how much I learn from y'all every Sunday. Really wonderful. Well, as I say, the beauty magazine and other things that, yeah, Can affect the heart, made you dizzy. Huh. I guess I better check into that. Of course, I'm not supplementing with magnesium right now, so maybe I ought to talk to my doctor first. The Swedes, hello and welcome. I have not seen you in a very long time, and I think this is the first time you've been on my live stream. So welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Hmm. Our soils are so depleted of everything now. It's really kind of scary. It works like a muscle relaxer, and the heart is a big muscle. Oh, that's true. Wonder if it would help to lower my blood pressure some. That's the next thing I have to start working on. My blood pressure has been running very high lately, and once we get the muscle cramps really under control, we'll start looking at blood pressure. I'm already taking 2 different medications. But I think my problem right now is that my pharmacy has changed from a name brand medication to a generic, and I don't really do very well with the generics. Usually, I have to get a special letter from my doctor because the generics just don't work on me. Oh, I was telling y'all that my sister is in town. She's taking mom and dad out for an Easter meal today. This evening, she's going to come over here and spend the night with me, and then tomorrow, we're going to go out and get her car registered in her name. It's a car I gave her a year ago now, and we're going to go get it registered in her name. She lost her driver's license. Oh, no, it wasn't lost. I'm sorry. She allowed it to lapse, and in order to get a new one, she had to get her birth certificate and then go and apply for a new driver's license, which apparently now she has done. So we're going to take it all the stuff over and get the car title put in her name finally. So Michigan F brain very sensitive. Have to be careful when shot glasses can beat you. Alcohol. Yeah, I have 2 8-ounce bottles of kombucha on my uh, kitchen cabinet, and it was given to me, and I haven't gotten the nerve to try it yet. Yes, Christy, it is exciting. I have not seen her, although she only lives about 400 miles from me. I don't get to see her very often at all. Um, I have to be close to mom and dad, and she doesn't drive very often. And although now that we're getting the car fixed, I think she'll be more apt to come this way. Mama does not like to go off anywhere and leave dad at home alone, especially now that his dementia is getting worse. She has to come up here, and that just doesn't happen real often. Unfortunately, she's one of those seniors that lives on Social Security, and she doesn't have a lot of money. Mom supplements a little bit for her, and before David passed, we were able to supplement too, and it made it a lot easier with her. But uh, my income now that David's gone has dropped by 2/3. And I have enough to meet my bills and enough to do the things that have to be done here. Uh, but I don't have enough to send to her like I was able to before. Unfortunately, that's cut down on her income as well, which means she doesn't have the money to do a lot of travel either. So we just enjoy the time we do get to see each other. Unfortunately, it's only 400 miles and we can make it in one day, but once we get Dad's situation straightened out and know just how much we can leave him alone, Mom and I might take a little trip up there. I don't know. We'll see. She lives on the coast of Texas. I grew up in the Corpus Christi area, and I love being on the ocean. I miss it a lot. Yeah, Christy, Dad is having that problem too. He's falling, and the biggest problem is that he still wants to drive. No doctor or police officer or anything like that has told him he cannot drive. Although he has macular degeneration in both eyes, one eye he cannot see out of at all, and the other one he gets shots in every month. And um, his dementia is so bad he forgets where he is and where he's going a lot. But he's determined that he's going to drive. And when I'm not around, he does. Mama and I have hidden the keys. And every once in a while, he just gets so ugly with her, she has to give him her steps. I'm trying to get in to see one of his doctors and see if they'd be willing to tell him don't drive anymore. Yeah, we do that too, Joe. When I know he's going to be napping, then that's when I can take Mom up to the grocery store or that sort of thing. Fortunately for me, he doesn't mind going to doctor's appointments with us. So when Mom has a doctor's appointment or when he has a doctor's appointment, I just pack them both up and we go. And the doctors have gotten so used to it now that they allow me and Mom to go in with Dad or Dad and me to go in with Mom. So it works well. Tablespoon. Take a couple of tablespoons of Epsom salt with the water. Spray on your tomato plant. Yeah, I I mix some Epsom salts in the water and I spray around the base, and I also use the eggshells around the base. It seems to help. Your uncle fibbed to your grandfather, told him his license expired and they wouldn't renew it. Then they sold the car. We were thinking about trying to do that, but my dad is still enough with it that he knows better. He can read his driver's license and he knows that. Can't do that in Texas, unfortunately, Michigan, because I've tried. It's getting to the point where Mom and I have been talking about the possibility of going before a judge and having me appointed my dad's guardian or have him be my ward, whatever you call it. Uh, yeah, I understand. I really do. Anyway, we're thinking about making him my ward, and that way I can make those decisions. He's already willingly put me on his um, checking account and that sort of thing. And he's told all of his creditors that they're to deal with me as if they were dealing with him. So I'm at least able to get the bills paid and that sort of thing, which helps. But still, he thought he had given up the idea of driving altogether. And then his birthday came and he went in and asked to renew his driver's license. The driver's license bureau checked his eyes, gave him a new driver's license. He didn't have to drive or anything. So that was the problem. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but I'm getting an appointment with the doctor when I'm not the patient has been a bit of a sticky wicket. We're going to try. Oh my goodness, going to the store and it's jammy. That would be something. Joe, the problem with that is I cannot do that to them. I have, well, first of all, Mom doesn't drive. She knows she can't drive. She doesn't enjoy driving. She lets me do all the driving. But Dad is insisting that he's a good driver and he's going to continue to drive. And I took all the keys away, and Mom said she had to have them back. So I gave them back to her with the understanding she would not give them to Dad. And unfortunately, she's given them back to him, but she takes them away from time to time. So I think I'm just going to have to make them my wards and then go from there. Hello, Tracy Smith. It's good to see you. It really is. I thought about pulling the battery, but my dad used to work on cars all the time, so he would just go in and get a new battery and put it in, or take one out of one of his other vehicles. So that wouldn't work. I've got Mom on my side to the point that we now have hidden the keys to the pickup truck. So he can't find the keys to the pickup truck. That helps. Well, Dad is beginning to let me drive most of the time. But if I'm not there and he decides he wants to go and do something, he badgers Mama till she gives him the keys and he goes and does it. And I've talked to him about it over and over again, and he swears I says, Kate, I'm a good driver. I'm a careful driver. I know I can do it. And Mom stands up and says, yes, he is. He drives very well. I ride with him and he's fine. And I look at him and say, look, it's not you I'm worried about. It's the other people on the road. Your responses are not as fast as they need to be, and these people can get you in an accident. And because of your age, you will be responsible. So it hasn't made a difference, unfortunately. I've already done that too, Michigan, and it just doesn't make a difference. Thank you very much, Thomas. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's nice to have new subscribers. It really is. Anyhow, my parents, much as I love them and as much of a problem as I can be, I just keep on keeping on. I mean, they put up with me when I was a little kid, so why shouldn't I put up with them when they're now going into a little kid again? I hope not. Mom doesn't want to drive now. She does not, but Dad does. And he's determined that he knows best what's going on. It's down to the point where last week he jumped in the car and took off and went to the bank and ordered new checks. Although we have 400 checks right now, he decided he didn't like them, so he went and bought some new ones. And when I asked him why he didn't like them, he said that he didn't like them. Oh, Michigan, take care, sweetie. We'll see you later. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Anyway, I finally got it out of him that he did not like the new checks that we had because they were not in the boxes of checks. Checks used to come in a box of like, I don't know, 400 in a box, and they were in individual little books. Now they come in a folder, and each of the 6 books, the folder opens out. And it's about the size of what you could slide into a file drawer. But Dad does not want those. He thinks those are cheap checks and he doesn't like them. He wants the one that comes in a box. And I can't convince him that that's not the way they come anymore. But he has to have them that way because they won't come any other way. So now that he's told me what it is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the old checks out of one of the boxes. And when his new checks get here, I'll take them out of the folder and put them in the box. And then he'll have the fancy checks he thinks he should have. Sometimes you have to just work your way around things like that. But he's not real good at communicating what he likes. My goodness, I've almost been on an hour. I had no idea. My. Thomas, if you're still here, what brought you to my channel? I'd love to know. I just realized that I have not seen the Broussards today. They must be having family things. I missed theirs last week, but it was because they went to Wednesdays that week because Brett had to work on Thursdays. Take care, Michigan. Well, I can't tell what your new icon is there. My screen is too small. I can't tell what it is. It looks like some blue and white, but beyond that, I don't have any idea what it is. I got 17 thumbs up today. That's a great number for me. Um, if we have any prayer requests, I would like to put them on there, or also Thanksgiving. I'm glad for both. If y'all would like to let me know what I could pray for, please do so, and we'll put it on the list. My little chickens are doing beautifully in their new chicken pen out there. I've had them up here for a little over a month now, and they really are happy. They like it very much. They've got a lot more room. They have a much bigger coop and a lot of room to run around in there, and they're really enjoying it. Oh, well, things have gotten very quiet. According to this, there's only 4 folks here. So since I did come on early, I think I'm going to go ahead and close it out. We don't seem to have any more prayer requests. So I'm going to end it today. And like I say every week, if you are out there and feeling alone and feeling unloved, just know that there's one person here that cares about you. Take care. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you all next Sunday. Bye, y'all. Definitely, Christy, you're on the line for that. Bye, Ruth. Y'all take care.